You're joining us on our last day in Koh Samui, although we can barely count it as part of our stay since we're up at 6 AM to get breakfast before our flight. But come join us as we revisit one of our favourite airports in the world. It's our final breakfast at the Passage. We got another waffle. Thoughts on breakfast?
Oh, it's alright, it's good.
Yeah? Yeah, it's alright. I think it's alright. A bit basic for me today because I don't want to risk anything dodgy. Will that to me? You done?
Mm-hmm.
You done?
I'm done.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Bye-bye breakfast. Bye-bye pool whenever used. Here are some final thoughts on TUI Blue The Passage. Overall, it is not quite what we expected. In fact, it is a lot better. I was expecting to be a lot more worn, a bit more dated for the kind of resort it is, but actually everything is fairly new, fairly refurbished, so I was very impressed by that. It is certainly more of a resort style hotel. If you want to come somewhere a bit more secluded, out of the way, and spend all your time by the pool and by a fairly empty beach, then this is definitely the place for you. It is a bit of a trek getting to places like Chaweng and Lamai, so you do need to consider getting taxis or grab cars and factoring that into your budget, or even just hiring a motorbike just for ease. So, it's possible to see the rest of the island. There are places nearby, Natorn and Fisherman's Village, which are more of a stone's throw away. I'm going to come back here again. I think given that a lot of places I want to see are near Chaweng and Lamai, I'd rather stay a bit closer. I would highly recommend coming here though if you were ever considering it, and I'm hoping that sort of the view of the rooms and the grounds does inspire you to want to stay here, whether that's as a package tour or through a room booked through Agoda or Booking.com or whatever. The rooms were very clean, well refurbished, nothing looked dated, so we're all very pleased about that. The facilities were good. Didn't try the pool, but the shared pools did look pretty well kept and clean. So yeah, that concludes our stay in Samui. We're getting a taxi in the next hour or so to the airport to move on to our next adventure. So we'll let you know how that goes. It's something a little bit new in terms of the accommodation, and we're going to be staying in the next place for 5 days. Fingers crossed that goes smoothly. See you on the other side. We were sad to say goodbye, but we even got a send-off from the local wildlife.
Oh.
Anyway, bye-bye Villa. Unfortunately, checkout didn't go quite so smoothly. So we've just tried to check out. We had a slight mishap when we were totting up the bill.
We didn't.
Well, okay, yeah, the reception staff. And found there was a unrecognised item, so like a full restaurant meal from the 19th, which we'd never bought. And they showed us the receipt and the signature, and obviously it wasn't ours, but it was charged to our room. So we managed to get it off the bill, which is obviously good. But I mean, it could well have been just like an honest mistake. I overheard them saying in Thai that I think it was meant to be for room 304 rather than 403, which was ours. But managed to get it off the bill. I suppose it's just one of the downsides of this kind of process of signing for things afterwards. It's all a trust-based process, isn't it, at the end of the day? But anyway, we're just waiting for our grab now, and hopefully leave the airport well within time, so we can have a bit of a look around the airport. And so welcome to Samui International Airport, a privately owned airport that serves Bangkok Airways, which makes it somewhat a monopoly to fly in and out of the island. This tiny airport boasts one terminal and 3 departure gates and 1 runway. The check-in process was fairly easy, but not much is automated, so it does leave it feeling a bit dated at times. So this is where they screen your bag for contraband, battery packs and stuff, isn't it? Yeah. So they don't embarrassingly have to call your name out at the departure gate. No. Imagine anxiety. So the guy checked the back of the ticket, and I think that's because there's like on some people it's like coded for a random search.
No.
Yeah. So this is meant to be like entirely open air outside airport, which is pretty cool. And it is indeed open air, with most of the restaurants and cafe facilities on the land side before the security gates. Before going through security, we decided to pause to get a nice coffee. Same. 2 tickets. Although the airport is small, there was a wide variety of shops and eating establishments. It wasn't busy, so there certainly isn't wait for food or drinks when you order. There's even outdoor beanbags to allow you to soak up the sun before you jet off. And once you're through security, you're greeted with a lot of greenery and plant life. There are still shops and cafes on the airside, so you don't need to wait around before going through security if you want refreshments. The airport definitely has a chilled and cosy vibe. The departure gates are housed in these huge open air huts, which are cute, but let me say they are terrifying when there's a thunderstorm ahead, as I found out a few years ago. and when you're ready for boarding, a trolley comes along to pick you up and takes you to the planes. Because we're only flying across the pond to Phuket, the aircraft is a propeller plane, which is quite an experience if you've never flown on one before. The seats on this plane were 2x2, as it is quite a small aircraft.
Nick ซึ่งท่านสามารถใช้อุปกรณ์ดังกล่าวได้อีกครั้งใน Flight Mode หลังจากสัญญาณห้ามใช้อุปกรณ์อิเล็กทรอนิกส์ดับลงค่ะ The floor lighting system leads you to the emergency exit.
This was only a short journey, even quicker than the flight from Bangkok to Samui. We seemed to hit a rough patch of air as the turbulence was quite noticeable towards the end of the flight. As we descended into Phuket Airport, we passed over a stretch of beach right over the runway, which is always popular with plane spotters.
Thank you.
One of the biggest differences between budget airlines in Europe and Asia is that in Asia they have a whole team of cleaning staff on standby as soon as the plane lands, ready to clean as if it's an Olympic sport. Oh, look who's shamed this time. Mr. Heavy.
I didn't get a it's so bad. Disgusted. And we are in Phuket. Oh, cool. Can we get a grab? Yeah. It's probably a good idea because last time we got one of these mini buses or some taxi from one of these places. The guy was driving like a lunatic. Do you remember? Looks like there's a grab pickup point there. Nice one.
One of the new developments in many of the airports in Thailand is a designated pickup point for grab cars to keep them from clogging up the arrivals terminals. Once we got on our car, we set off towards our next destination about 20 kilometers away. Stay tuned for the next video, where we'll show you around our next accommodation in Phuket.